Hey viejos, esta es tarea número 16, verbos y personas número 1. Purpose of this tarea is to introduce you to the most basic concepts about Spanish verbs and how they work. Cocinar is to cook. It's not I cook or you cook or he cooks or we cook or today or tomorrow or any other time reference. It just means cooking, to cook. When we take the word cocinar, these last two letters, AR, and remove them, we have cocin. Cocin is the super important part because it carries the meaning of cook no matter what comes afterwards. If we took any more letters away, we wouldn't have the word to cook anymore. Cocin is the essential part we have to keep. It's called the stem. All verbs have a stem. And for most of them, you just find it by removing those last two letters. Hablar is the stem of, habl is the stem of hablar. Habl, 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 habl. Tomar, to drink, its stem is tom. Bailar is to dance. Its stem is bail. Tocar becomes tok. Mirar becomes mir. I do not know why the chef's in there. Ignore him. Caminar means to walk, and the stem of caminar is camin. So even if we only have camin and start adding things to it, people know we're talking about walking. But if we took away the N and it was just cami, it would no longer be the word to walk. Escribir, and again, I do not know why the chef's there. Maybe he's thinking about his cookbook he's going to write. Escribir, to write, does not end with AR, it ends with IR, but that's okay. As we say in Spanish, no importa, we don't care. We still just take off two letters and we have a verb stem, escrib. Comer ends with ER, not IR or AR, but again, no importa, com is still the stem. Another term you need to know is infinitive verbs, because I'll use that term a lot. I'll say, well, the infinitive looks like this, etc. Infinitive verbs are simply the form in the dictionary that means to cook, to eat, to write, but does not say who's doing it, and it always ends with an R. Cocinar, comer, and escribir are the infinitive forms. They're called that because it's infinitely possible who's doing it or when. The verb stems of cocinar, comer, and escribir look like this. We'll skip that page. So let's take the stem, cocin, for cooking. What do I do when I cook? What do I do when you cook? Typically, when I'm doing an action, an O goes at the end. Yo cocino, yo hablo, yo tengo, yo digo, yo salgo. Once in a while, it's oy, like in yo estoy, but usually it's O. When you're doing something, when I want to say, hey, you're cooking tonight, I would say tú cocinas, because two verbs usually end with an S when I'm talking to you. Like if I say, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Hablas español? ¿Dónde vives? I'm asking you all those questions and there's an S at the end. So we know then that the yo form would be the stem plus O, yo cocino. The to form is the stem plus AS, tú cocinas. But what about Carlos or Maria if they came over to cook for us? Well, saying Carlos is pretty much the same thing as saying him. Saying Maria is pretty much the same thing as saying her. So whether it's a name or it's just él or ella, we still take our stem, cocin, and add an ending. And for him or her, it's even simpler. We just take an S away from the to form. Cocina. Carlos cocina. Maria cocina muy bien. Carlos cooks. Maria cooks. And that is all there is to conjugating the first three forms. We're going to talk a little bit about words that don't end with AR at our next class meeting. For now, I just want you to understand the principle. Please take a look at the accompanying response sheet. Make sure you finish that up and turn it in with the assignment. Hasta luego. Have a great sunny week.